Now that you've looked at Daniel 1 through 6, you have a better understanding of how these stories kind of function under the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes to encourage people to continue to be good Jews even in the face of adversity, that Yahweh may come through and deliver them from a fiery furnace or from a lion's den or something like that. But even if he doesn't, they still need to worship Yahweh correctly. When we get to Daniel 7 through 12, we move into the apocalypse proper. So Daniel 7 has this vision of 4 beasts. Each one of these beasts come out of the sea, and the sea just kind of represents chaos, and each one of these beasts represents a different cat civilization: Assyria, Babylon, Persia, and now Greece. And Greece is going to be the very most scary beast of all. So I'm going to have you look at Daniel 7 for me. Here are all the beasts, and here's the very most scary one. And you'll notice as you read through Daniel 7 that this is some whacked out stuff. This is a really strange vision that Daniel has. And Daniel sees each one of these beasts come out, and then the very worst one of all is the Greek beast. And the Greek beast has all of these horns, and then it has one tiny little horn. And that horn represents Antiochus Epiphanes, who is so evil and so awful. And then I'm going to have you answer questions about it. But after all of these beasts have come forward, the Ancient of Days comes to sit down on his throne, and the Ancient of Days is Yahweh coming down to rule over this terrible beast and to put this beast to rest once and for all. The strange thing that happens is that when the Ancient of Days comes and sets up his throne in order to judge the beast, another dude shows up. So it's not only the Ancient of Days, but also this person that's referred to as a human being or a son of man comes and helps the Ancient of Days dispose of, get rid of, defeat the beast. Now, there are a couple of different interpretations as to who this Son of Man is. One option is that the Son of Man is a king in the line of David that finally comes and sets up rule and rules over all of Judea. Another interpretation is that this Son of Man represents the human being Jews that are being ruled by Antiochus Epiphanes and represents those people who remain faithful to Yahweh even in the face of persecution, and that eventually they will be victorious over this beast. I'm not really sure which one it is, but I am going to have you read through Daniel 7 and tell me kind of what it's about and what all it represents. Then I'm going to have you think through some things. Apocalyptic literature, like we've mentioned, is written during a time of trial or oppression. Daniel specifically is written during the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes. And I want you to think through what are some events or periods in history that might cause people to write apocalypses, that might cause people to say, oh my gosh, we really need God to intervene in this situation. Now, other apocalyptic times that I've thought of are things like the exile, or when the people of God were living in Egypt under slavery. Slavery in the U.S., definitely for enslaved persons, was an apocalyptic time. Colonialism, when we went into a bunch of different countries and just kind of took them over. Native American oppression, the oppression of women, persecution of Christians even now and historically, the Holocaust, the Syrian refugee crisis. Whatever you want to choose, go ahead and choose a time period. I want you to think through different time periods. It doesn't have to be mine, but I want you to think of a time period of oppression. And this is going to be a quiz grade for you, which means it'll be kind of a hefty grade, but I want you to pick a period of oppression and write to comfort oppressed people and give them hope. You're going to write your own apocalypse. So whatever time period you choose, choose somebody who's living in that time period and use them to speak for you. Use imagery, act like you've seen a vision in the heavens. Use imagery of animals, colors, numbers, whatever you need to do. Use coded language. Write under a fake name of a respected person, and explain how you received the apocalypse, and use dualistic language. So whatever time period you choose, say you do like slavery in America, then you would say something like, I, Harriet Tubman, saw a vision by night. An angel came to me and told me that there was a great battle going on in the heavens, and that the people dressed in shimmering clothing were up against the beast and blah, 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 blah. So you're going to do this. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. This is our very last thing that you have to do for me. And so you can rejoice in that. And then eventually you can take your final and call it a day. So thank you for sticking with me. Let me know if you have any questions about apocalyptic literature.